Tēnā tātou I roto I tēnei ata. I'm here in Whenua, back home now, and I'm going to share kōrero about two topics. Firstly, mana whenua, and secondly, Kaitiakitanga. The term mana whenua is a term that is used today to represent the people of the land, to represent iwi, to represent those entities that have been given recognition through a crown process. As I know the term, mana whenua is actually a term related to the land, and it's the mana or the power and energy that emanates from the land, and the people that eat from that land, that live from that land and are sustained from that land, are eating the mana of that land. And it was usually used as a term like mana atua, mana tangata, mana whenua, rather than as a describer for an entity. Things have evolved, and it's now a describer for legal entities. And I personally don't like using the term, but it is a term that has gained momentum, because if you go back 25 years ago, very rarely would anybody be referred to as the mana whenua. They'd be referred to as tangata whenua, the people of the land, or the haukainga, those that are cleansed by the winds, and those that invigorate the fire by blowing into the fire to keep it going. And so, because kainga, the root word is ka, which is to ignite a fire or to keep it burning. And so this notion of mana whenua as it's used today is, I struggle with. And in my own treaty settlement, I fought not to have the term, but there's one or two occasions where it is included, because that's what the Crown believe the term is. I suppose it's a bit like tino rangatiratanga. I choose not to use that word as when possible, and I rather use mana or mana motuhake, simply because tino rangatiratanga as it's used today is a result of the Treaty of Waitangi, and therefore it comes from the Lord's Prayer. No te rangatiratanga, te kororia me te honore, all of that stuff. Because they tried to find a word to describe sovereignty, and they knew that our people wouldn't sign over mana, because that's a completely different meaning than tino rangatiratanga. So that's number one. Number two, Kaitiakitanga. Prior to 1991 and the Resource Management Act, the notion of Kaitiakitanga is completely different to how it's used today. And in fact, we generally just use the word kaitiaki, and we very rarely used it for humans. Whereas the kaitiaki were the taniwha, the ripo, the mana, the tupua, the tipua, the patupaerehe, the tūrehu, the ponaturi, those were the kaitiaki. And as a result of things changing, and I get why it was used, but kaitiakitanga is a term that's evolved over time as well, to ensure that we have these descriptors that fit a Pākehā world. And there's a few challenges with that, because if I'm at home, I'd be ensuring that anyone that's at home talking about kaitiaki are talking about, I'm here right now, and the kaitiaki is in the river, and it connects to the sea as well. Up in the mountain we have specific kaitiaki that we refer to, and we invoke all the time. And as we invoke them, we then become the human manifestation of those kaitiaki. And then we send them back, because you don't want to have them with you all the time, otherwise you might go crazy. And I mean that because the energy that they have is so powerful that it can sway you to start leaning on the other side too much, when our role is to try and find balance within our lives all the time. So Kati had a heap of requests to share a bit of information, so I've only shared 2 words, and there's a heap of words that have been influenced as a result of our negotiations, our discussions with government, as well as our attempts to try and express Māori concepts so that our concepts are given recognition. So I'm not criticising the efforts to try and give ourselves mana through a legal process, but I'm just being mindful that these words have evolved and we have to find a way to make sense of them while not forgetting anything else. Kaitiake, my nephew's waiting for me to have a Nerf gun fight with him, little toko, so I better go. Kia ora tātou.